One of the biggest mistakes that people make with body language is to try and take one gesture and try and put a meaning on it. Now, body language is like any language. There's words, sentences, phrases, and punctuation. You've got to take a series of words to get a full understanding as to what each individual word means. And with body language, it's the same. We've got to take what we call clusters of gestures, so that when you see them happen, they'll come in such a predictable sequence that you'll get a feeling that the person may not be telling you the truth. For example, if you ask me a question, as I respond to your question, I begin to rub my nose. What do you think that could mean? Well, it could mean I'm telling lies. Anything else? Itchy nose. What else? I could be stalling for time, yes. Anything else? No, I haven't got a cold. No. I had a cold that looked like this under the wrist. What you said correctly is that one gesture can mean perhaps a dozen different things, just like one word can mean many different things. It could mean that I'm telling you a lie when it's put into a cluster. For example, if somebody's telling a lie, this is one of the gestures that they will use. Other gestures include, if I'm going to tell you a big lie, there's a good chance I'll rub my eye and look at the ground. For example, sounds like a great idea to me, John. You can certainly count on my support. Another gesture that I might use, if I'm telling you a lie and I suddenly think that you suspect that as you found me out, here's one of the gestures you'll see. For example, I posted that cheque on Thursday. So when it comes in a sequence, if you ask me how I felt about your presentation or what you were saying, and I said I think it's a great idea, I think you've done a terrific job and you've got a tremendous future, you may not believe me, is that right? Now, all of us act predictably when our territory is invaded by other people. Our territory can include our home, our motor car, our office. And within our territories, there are sub-territories. For example, in your own home, everybody has his or her chair. And nobody else had better dare sit in it, right? Let's see what happens when we sit at a table. And can I use you? What's your name?
Steve.
Steve, come on up, Steve. Give me a big hand. Come on over. Sit down there, Steve. Here we have a scene that's at a restaurant. It could be at an office. We have a square desk. Now, here's the problem with a square desk. First of all, whenever there are sides on a table, this occurs with a square and rectangular desk, people take sides, which means we take barriers. While me sitting at this desk in this position, I have put myself in a crossed arms position in relation to Steve, and our conversation will generally be negative. Now, the research shows that there's around a 25% greater chance of me persuading Steve if we have a round table than if we have a table with sides, because at a round table there's no what? There's no corners and barriers. Now, the other problem is that when we sit here, we unconsciously divide the table into two halves, his territory and mine. Now, if I try to invade his territory, he won't like it. Now, let's say we're having a business lunch and discussing business, and I decide I want to rattle him, get him off edge. All I need to do as we discuss business is watch closely. And business has been pretty good, they tell me, Steve. Been all right. I just push your salt shaker across. And I believe you've been doing very well too, the ashtray. And apparently you've been looking forward to getting a rise in the company. And I reckon it's... can you see what happens? You see, all right. Give him a big hand. Thanks, Steve.